Everyone was taught to worship intelligence, to chase grades, to measure worth in numbers that a system assigned to you before you were old enough to understand what they meant. But here is what nobody told you sitting in that classroom. The most successful relationships in your life will never be decided by how much you know. They will be decided by how well you understand what is happening inside you and inside the people around you. The person who gets the promotion is not always the most qualified. The marriage that lasts is not always between the two smartest people. The friend everyone calls at 2 in the morning is never the one with the highest grades. They are the one who knows how to be present, how to hold space, how to make another human being feel like they matter. That is not intelligence. That is something deeper. And most people spend their entire lives never learning it. Psychologist Daniel Goleman spent years researching what actually separates people who thrive from people who simply survive. And what he found changed the conversation permanently. Emotional intelligence, he discovered, accounts for nearly 90% of what sets extraordinary people apart from ordinary ones with the exact same technical skills. But here's the part that rarely gets talked about. Emotional intelligence is not about being nice. It is not about being gentle or agreeable or conflict-free. It is about being honest with yourself first. The most emotionally intelligent people are not the ones who never lose their temper. They are the ones who notice the moment before they lose it and make a different choice. That gap between impulse and response is where your entire character lives, and learning to widen that gap is one of the most powerful things a human being can ever do. Here's something that will change the way you see every difficult person in your life. Research in developmental psychology shows that emotional intelligence is largely shaped in the first 7 years of life. The way emotions were handled in your home became the template your brain uses to handle emotions forever. If anger was explosive in your house, your nervous system learned that anger is dangerous. If sadness was dismissed, your brain learned that vulnerability is weakness. If love was conditional, your heart learned that you have to earn the right to be cared for. You did not choose these templates. They were handed to you before you had any say. But here is what makes this extraordinary. Unlike IQ, which is largely fixed, emotional intelligence can be completely rewritten at any age. The brain remains plastic, the patterns remain changeable, and every single day you choose awareness over autopilot, you are literally rewiring yourself. Think about the last time you were in a room where the energy shifted and you felt it before anyone said a word. That is emotional attunement. The ability to read what is not being spoken. Studies show that only 7% of human communication is the actual words being used. 38% is tone of voice, and 55% is body language, which means the vast majority of what people are telling you has nothing to do with their words. The emotionally intelligent person is fluent in all 3 languages simultaneously. They hear what you say, they hear how you say it, and they hear the thing underneath both that you never said at all. That level of awareness does not just make you better in relationships, it makes you harder to manipulate, harder to gaslight, harder to destabilize, because you know what is real. The most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Not the internal criticism, not the self-doubt, the honest one. The one where you ask yourself why you reacted the way you did, why certain people trigger you, why you shut down in some situations and explode in others. Why you give so much in some relationships and disappear in others. That conversation is where emotional intelligence is built. Not in a therapy room necessarily, not in a book, but in the quiet, honest moments where you choose to look at yourself clearly instead of looking away. IQ will tell you what the problem is. Emotional intelligence will tell you why it keeps happening, and that why is the only answer that ever actually changes anything.